Hello, my name is Christopher Ortiz, and I am a student at Northern New Mexico College. This presentation is for my final exam for the course Foundations of Integrated Studies, instructed by Mr. Ryan Sams. Today, I would like to talk about a highly contested issue that demonstrates my understanding of how integrated curriculum can provide effective benefits to our current education system in the U.S., focusing more on how it can provide better outcomes for career development with students that can later become a finer asset in the job market. Have you ever wondered what our time in elementary or junior high would look like if we had not separate periods like math, science, or language arts, but one or two single subjects that combine them all? What if, instead of hearing, "because you will need to know that next year," as the response to a student asking their math teacher why learning about geometry is needed, you hear, "because it will help you in the real world"? These, among many other reasons, are why an integrated curriculum is an excellent choice for our education system. First, I'm going to describe what integrated curriculum is and what I mean when I say that it is a highly contested issue. I will then discuss what an integrated curriculum can do to promote knowledge in students within our education system, and then explain why there are higher chances of students leading toward academic success via integrated studies. I will be using past assignments from the course that I have attended to help give examples and provide better support for my thesis. So basically, the concept of integrated curriculum, aka interdisciplinary studies, is a holistically educational approach to provide encouragement and motivation to students by blending conventionally separate subjects or disciplines taught in many schools. It is cross-functional in nature, so it extends beyond single disciplines or subjects, with the goal of helping students obtain the skills and tools necessary to make determined efforts to address real-world problems in our current society. So, where and when did the idea of integrated studies begin? The history of integrated studies has its roots in the progressive education movement of the 1930s, when the seeds were sown from a campaign led by many people such as American educator, philosopher, and psychologist John Dewey, Colonel Francis Parker, Horace Mann, and to a lesser extent Italian physician and educator Maria Montessori, and Swiss psychologist Jean Piaget. The progressive education movement arose as a reaction to the perceived restrictions of conventional education and teaching styles, which was viewed as too mechanical and habitual, and needed a reform. Many of these people's research helped reevaluate children's learning and development, and spearheaded experiential learning and advocated for a more student-centered approach. Essentially, they wanted to create a better system that would be more engaging and to promote more relevant learning experience for students. Now, why is the concept of integrated studies highly contested? There are several reasons, but some of the concerns involve its complexity. Some critics argue that by integrating multiple disciplines, it can lead to shallow or vague understanding of any single subject. Rather than focusing on one study for a specific amount of time, integrated studies aim to cover and blend them all into a carefully chosen period. Other critics argue that, because this type of curriculum entails collaborative efforts from teachers of different subjects, this can be arduous to manage and may even lead to misconceptions or disagreements between teachers. There is also debate about the effectiveness of this curriculum. Some people say that the success of this curriculum is not as valuable as conventional, single-discipline-based degrees when it comes to job candidates. But I am here to tell you that, while these concerns are certainly valid, the potential for this teaching style exceeds these concerns as it leads to higher and greater outcomes of learning and career development. My case is based on 3 points. Firstly, by implementing an integrated curriculum, it can help students enhance their critical thinking skills. The second point is that integrated studies promote increased motivation and engagement, and it also helps acquire higher knowledge. This will then lead me to my last point, that integrated studies provide guidance and support to the students outside of the classroom and prepare them for the real world. So now, let us look at how the students' critical thinking and problem-solving skills can be strengthened through an integrated curriculum. One chapter I want to turn to is from a book that I have recently read called 5 Minds for the Future by Howard Gardner. In this book, he provides an argument, showing that there are 5 mindsets we all must foster, and by practicing an integrative approach by blending together these 5 minds, we have the ability to prosper in the current times of today. The 5 key cognitive abilities include discipline, synthesizing, creating, respectful, and ethical. Each dimension has their own significant role, and by mastering the art of blending them all together, helps to provide success for the person practicing. There is a statement he makes on page 46 that relates well to my first point. The ability to knit together information from disparate sources into a coherent whole is vital today. This is true because, by synthesizing, it helps to enhance critical thinking by requiring the assessment of multiple perspectives, creating new insights, and thus enriching a deeper understanding of topics and strengthens analytical skills. Moving on to my second point, I am going to discuss why integrated studies help to increase motivation and engagement in the classroom, and also obtain higher knowledge. The integrated approach does not require your typical 6 to 8 period separate subject schedule. Rather, it holds periods where the students will learn multiple disciplines in a single classroom. This leaves more room for flexibility and adaptability, depending on the school's needs and specific student learning objectives. Because of these principles, students are given additional opportunities to conduct interdisciplinary activities, such as field trips, collaborative projects, and other cross-curricular hands-on activities that help them see how what they learn correlates with the real world. In terms of how knowledge is gained, these fundamental engagements challenge the students' thinking by collaborative efforts and building off each other's ideas. I can turn to Socrates to give an example of how this is relevant. In Plato's Theaetetus, Socrates uses his method quite a bit. To obtain information, his approach utilizes collaboration, and he deploys this collective approach to understand what things are, what knowledge is. On 198d, Socrates says, "And in this way, even when things you learned and got knowledge of long ago, and have ever known since, it is possible to learn them, these same things, all over again." With integrated studies promoting this cooperative approach, it helps the students foster deep thinking and active listening, and the investigation of diverse perspectives. Consequently, this is how knowledge can be obtained, through direct observation and developing skill through first-hand projects. Having examined these last 2 points, I'd now like to talk about how integrated studies provide guidance and support to students past the classroom and out into the job market. As we have learned, this curriculum emphasizes blending subjects. This creates a more attractive resume for students, as it shows they have knowledge and experience in various areas of study. One skill that most companies or agencies search for in their candidates is networking, something that students have exercised during their schooling. Additionally, flexibility is also appealing, as well as collaboration and, again, critical thinking. These are all skills that have been fine-tuned during their time in the classroom. Going back once more to 5 Minds for the Future, Gardner writes on page 166, "Disciplines, synthesis, and creativity can be put to all kinds of ends, including nefarious ones. But such perversion is much less likely if we have also cultivated a sense of respect and an ethical orientation." In the workforce, an individual carrying these types of cognitive abilities and by applying them to the real world's problems helps shape their future. In an integrated studies classroom, all these things help the student embody these principles, which can lead toward a more successful career. In conclusion, the idea of implementing an integrated curriculum into our current educational system sounds substantial. Although there are rational concerns, the advantages outweigh the disadvantages, and after considering all the main points in my presentation, I would hope that eventually this program can be examined more, hopefully ending in an all-around integrated curriculum system. Thank you.